Welcome back, everyone. Mike McConville here one more time for StringTech, Stratford, Ontario, Canada. It's been quite a while since I've done a full kind of tutorial on the neck surgery. And with this particular break on this particular guitar, I thought I would take the time to really go stem to stern on this thing and show all of you guys from Australia and France and all over the US and Canada that have these neck surgery kits exactly how I set up to do for this very delicate job. So I'm going to start on this end. Well, considering we're into the Stanley Cup Finals and it looks like Canada could realistically bring back the Stanley Cup to Canada for the first time in a couple of dozen years, I have another hockey puck, actually several hockey puck tricks for you. Because I got a half diameter full thickness hockey puck that I kind of tuck under there, and what that does is it holds the body level while I make the cut. That's my strapping configuration. I just catch the tip of that horn, go underneath and over top. This one has a really big strap button there, so that kind of pulls the body against the hoop on the lower bout. So this holds the body down tight, zero chance of shifting, no excessive force, no clamps or vices. It's not moving. Okay, this is an ultra tweak for all of you guys that have your neck surgery jigs. I'm turning these rubber lined washers down to reduce the outside diameter. So I've taken the time to reduce all 16 of these washers. Well, I have ganged up the last 12 washers. Yeah, no point in messing around. We'll get them all at once. So this pivoting U-channel, you want to make sure you're in between the frets. You don't want it resting on a fret. This way the surface of the fingerboard, the wood, rests on the flat of that aluminum U-channel. Of course, I've got another hockey puck here. So with this spring clamp and another piece of hockey puck, this is held down firmly and safely. No excessive force. With the machinist rule, I reach through the window, and in this case, it's 4 millimeters and 4 millimeters. That holds the neck dead center in the jig. All of you guys that have your neck surgery kits and the CNC sled for the Bosch Colt router, you already know that the router indexes on the rails and moves without any apparent tightness or looseness while you make your cut. So similar to the other end, we've got this aluminum U-channel that pivots on the threaded rod. And the flat of that U-channel needs to rest, as you can see, between the machine head cuffs. It's got to rest on the flat of the headstock. Once again, these clamps, spring clamps, hold the headstock down firmly against the flat of that pivoting U-channel. I'll remove these clamps for a second. With the machinist rule, I go through the window and measure the distance, which is 4.15 millimeters, 4.15 and 4.15, and that guarantees that the neck is held dead center. And these cinch pins on either side guarantee that while you make your cut, there's no lateral motion, and that's how we get that nice clean cut. The spring clamps hold it down tight. While we make our cut. One new exception to the rule for this particular job. Let me bring you in for a closer look. Because of the extreme fragility of this end grain to end grain break, I have cut a piece of hockey puck again. Yeah, we're going wild with the hockey pucks on this one. I've cut that piece of hockey puck to support the neck as we make the cut with the router. Of course, all of you guys who have your neck surgery jigs already know with this indexing pin, you can follow the trajectory of the cut. Before you flick the switch on the router, you know exactly where the cut starts, its deepest point, and where it exits. There's our indexing pin, and there's the cutter depth. Normally I would use a 5/16 inch bit and a 5/16 inch spline to match. In this case, because it's so precarious, this end grain to end grain break, we're going with a 3/8 inch cutter. And so this walnut tracer plate is thinner than the dado. It allows me to check the floor of the dado for 100% contact. Now I'll use this tracer plate to trace onto the mahogany stock. You can see this is the end grain to end grain break that miraculously we got that pretty tight. There's no structural integrity here at all. You can see the deepest part of that cut is right where that end grain to end grain glue joint was. We've swept right past it. So the spline draws its strength from the headstock. This is the scarf joint on the headstock where they flipped it and re-glued it. So this is very strong. So we're drawing the strength from either side of the break, all the way up the neck, and then right up into the headstock. So we're ready to heat up the hide glue. We're going to glue that into place, and we will let that sit overnight. Then we'll cut the other side. I'm releasing the neck so we can get access to this while we glue it, and I will leave it exactly where it is. So tomorrow, after letting this set overnight, we'll come back and cut that other spine. We'll let this set overnight and we'll start on the second spline tomorrow.